Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Azeroth Daily for the 6th of May 2011. My name is TotalBiscuit, bringing you your daily dose of WoW news and comment. In the headlines today, major data mine content over on MMO Champion. This is what looks to be, for the most part, the big heroic quest chain and most of the dialogue that will accompany it. There's a few screenshots in there as well. Bear in mind that obviously there are no videos or anything like that of this yet. You wouldn't really expect there to be, because of course all of that is currently inaccessible. But this is the transcript they've managed to take from the data files, as well as some of the quests that are involved in it. So if you're not really someone that cares about spoilers, go and have a read of that. That should give you some clues as to what is going to be required. World of Warcraft has a new patch. It's patch 4.1.0, uppercase A. It's a so-called fast patch, which is unusual because usually they would do things like that with hotfixes, but apparently this did actually require a download and a patch. You might have noticed that one come down the pipe yesterday. Among the numerous things that have been fixed, we do have a disconnection bug when zoning into another location. That's been dealt with. And also various other issues, including the fact that there were random NPCs floating for no reason, and the targeting reticule was disappearing upon spellcast. Lot of other different changes, and here's a really important one. If you were using a single client to connect to multiple regions, you should be able to do that one again, so that's fairly important for a lot of people. A roundup of what you can expect on the PTR is now available over on the US Battle.net site. There's not a huge amount of information here, but there is what appears to be a mostly complete set of patch notes. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually tell you what's currently available on the PTR and what isn't, so I don't really know just how useful this actually is. But if you're still curious as to what's actually coming in 4.2 and you're a bit confused as to what's there and what isn't, then you can go and have a look at the link in the description below this video. A new addition to the UI has come in on the menu page, as you can see right here. This has been asked for years for some reason, and now you can finally do it. You can actually change the order of the characters on your character selection list, which may save you a whole, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds over the course of 3 months. Whatever the case, people asked for it, it's now in the game. So there you go, a world-shattering change. The latest round of new player tips has come out, and in this case, it's in regards to guild culture and the guild landscape and communication. So this is a big discussion and what is effectively a help article that is provided by the players. So if you happen to be a new player that's confused about the way that guilds operate, then I would recommend that you go and read the comments in the description below this video. And with that, it's time for your Daily Blues. Mental Mage seems to be of the opinion that the WoW community is starting to rebuild and getting larger and larger, and that was a welcome change. And he cites his anecdotal evidence that he's seen more people around the place. Well, that's meaningful. And the response from Vanarus is that yes, there are indeed a lot of people starting from scratch. It is, after all, a perfect time to level a new character, which I suppose makes sense, considering that they've remade the world, so it makes sense to see more people outside and in some of the lower level zones, as opposed to before the expansion, where a lot of these were actually ghost towns, and there you go. Ah, what a positive and fluffy post. It's alright, I'm sure we can break that one. Oh, actually we can't, because Nerfx says, EU community managers, we love you, yes, we love you. Why don't you come and comment and joke with us? The forums are not awesome without you. Well, they wouldn't be awesome even with you, but hey, there you go. Rixian responds by saying they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, and they have an awful lot more to do than simply posting on the forums. They have to split the EU team up into several smaller groups in order to deal with the foreign language, as well as dealing with blogs and updating the community website and all sorts of other things. So there you go. That is why they don't post quite as much as the US guys, so they claim. And just to prove the whole damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, Rixian has responded to a post by Sveza that says, well, I love how this thread gets a blue response, the really large ones with problems in class forums that are made very diligently and with effort don't. I love it. And he says, what did I say about damn? Time to leave the forums and return to my other tasks. But before you go, do check out this link. And I did check out this link. And it was a post earlier this year from Vanarus that says the class forums are places to come together with other players of that class and discuss your class. Post tips, advice, guides and hints and have discussions and things like that. And we post our responses in other forums. We do not post much in the class forums. So there you go. There, he said this months ago, so you can quit whining about it. And with that, it's time for your daily grind. Now, if you're looking for a break from all that senseless slaughter, you could certainly do worse than taking part in Children's Week, which does end tomorrow, folks. That's May the 7th, so you're going to have to be a little bit quick if you want to do this one. And this is simply called Let's Go Fly a Kite, which is exactly what you'd expect it to be. You are able to purchase a 2-pack of dragon kites and then run around with your orphan, pulling the kites all over the place, and of course that will then complete the quest. No problem whatsoever, and you'll make your orphan extremely happy. Now, bearing in mind that the previous quest involved taking him into an extremely dangerous dungeon whereby you slaughtered in a blood-splattered mess a large enemy monster, I would have to think that this is a little bit of anti-trauma work. This is therapy for your orphan that's just seen more violence than he could possibly imagine. But there you go, folks. That is the Dragon Kite, and if you're looking for a permanent version of the Dragon Kite, then you will have to get it from the WoW TCG. It's as simple as that. That's what those items are usually from. And with that, it's time for your weekly feature. This is the Postcards from Azeroth. Now, at the start of this week, we came up with a theme for you, and the task you were set was to make yourself look like a celebrity using your World of Warcraft character and the items available within the game. The first one comes in from Jan, that comes up with this one. This is Dr. Manhattan. Yes, indeed it is. Some of you might not know who Dr. Manhattan is, in which case you are heathens, and go read the Watchmen graphic novel. I would highly recommend it. Excellent stuff right there, and a minimalistic approach, I feel. It works, though. It really, really does work. This one comes in from Ian Grant, who says he's dressed up as Hulk Hogan, and that is actually kind of a scary resemblance you've got going on right there. I think you need larger mutton chops, honestly, but pretty close. Pretty damn close. This one comes in from Zan Selenka, and this is Frodo Baggins. Yes, I suppose it is, and I like the fact that this is an action shot, actually. You can see him throwing what appears to be some kind of ring into the fire. So excellent play there. I like that. That's good stuff. This one comes in from Richard Foreman, who says, we have the Super Mario Brothers. I don't know about that. I'm fairly sure Mario didn't have a very large red flowing beard. And also, last time I checked, Luigi wasn't black, but there you go. This one comes in from Mark Biddy. Yeah, I like this one. This is going to be something that a lot of people don't even understand. I told you to dress up as a celebrity, but I suppose he's kind of a celebrity villain. This is Pico the Gold Farmer from Chronicles of the Gold Farmer 2, which is actually no longer available on my channel because I can't put up stuff with copyright music anymore. So there you go. Those of you who remember that, well, you've been fans for a very, very long time because that was published, I believe, in 2006. This one comes in from Preston Allen, and it's Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. I suppose it could be. I suppose it's not exactly the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but it's close enough. I like the fact that they actually went out of their way to name the characters and find a variant that wasn't actually taken. Yes, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. Yes. That's Mini-Me with a stutter, if you haven't already realized. This one comes in from Nick Thorne, and this is He-Man and Cringer. He-Man, God, that's going back a while, isn't it? I have to wonder how many viewers of this show actually remember that. Hopefully more than I might think. It would be depressing otherwise. Now, I was gonna name the winner as Uvind Kalstad, but a quick trip over to Tinai revealed that he actually cheated and stole this picture from other places on the internet. I'll show you the picture anyway, because it's awesome, but this is not, in fact, the winner, because this person cheated. Which is a very, very sad thing to do, because that's an awesome image. Just a shame you didn't come up with it yourself. So, as a result, I am going to award the prize this week to the one and only Mr. Hulk Hogan, aka Ian Grant. So, congratulations to Ian Grant. For his Hulk Hogan entry, you receive a 60-day time card for your region. Please contact us through the website over on cynicalbrit.com via the contact form, and we'll get everything sorted out for you. And with that, it's time for the mailbox. This one comes in from Alex that says, I've been raiding in my guild since the beginning of Kata, and last night we finally managed to clear all the content and get Sinestra down. We're now farming the content to get gear ready for Firelands. Our guild is pretty hardcore, raiding 4 to 5 nights a week, 5 hours each night, as we all want to try and get high world ranks in content. The problem is that PTRs are pretty terrible with lag and general gameplay issues, which I'm fine with, because after all it is a test realm. What I'm not fine with is having top world guilds getting their own servers to do the raid content on, therefore having an unfair advantage on other guilds. This means that before the content is released, guilds like Paragon and Insidia are pretty much guaranteed to have more world-first kills due to the fact their servers have a lot less gameplay issues than the rest of us. This is not allowing new and upcoming guilds to progress higher up in the world rankings. I was wondering if you thought it was okay for Blizzard to favour other players specifically over the rest of the raiding community. Right, here's my thoughts on this. If they are going to have people like Paragon, it really is Paragon, honestly, and I don't know if Insidia is involved in this anyway, but we know for a fact that Paragon has been testing content before everybody else, then they should hire them. It's as simple as that. They should hire them as an internal raid testing team, and they should not be permitted to participate in the world rankings. It's as simple as that. It's the same reason why it's not okay for GMs to just come out and tell people about boss strategy and things like that, and you do actually get fired if you do that. So, to me, it seems that the raiders out of Paragon should not, in fact, be just playing in Paragon. I don't know what the situation is. I have no idea. I don't know what kind of restrictions have been put on it. I know for a fact that they said, oh, well, we're going to release the strategy and everything like that, but the thing is that doesn't matter at all, because it has allowed them to have an awful lot more practice than everybody else, and particularly on the really, really hard content, when the PTRs generally only have very limited testing windows for certain bosses, and some bosses don't actually get tested at all. It does give a very significant advantage to Paragon in the world rankings race. What it indicates to me is that Blizzard doesn't actually care about the world rankings. They don't officially recognize them. I mean, when was the last time you heard them celebrating a world first? Hell, they must be mourning world firsts. And why do I say that? Well, simply because their content's been beaten in less time than they would have hoped. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love for Paragon to be the official internal raid testing team. Not only would the balance be good, but we're also talking about a situation where it would hopefully have an awful lot less bugs in the content, because you have some very capable raiders, whereas Blizzard evidently does not, as we've seen from previous attempts at balancing encounters. But I'm not really cool with the raid balancing team also playing in the world rankings. That seems to be fairly ridiculous. They should be removed from that, given a proper salary, and actually hired by Blizzard if they haven't already been. And if they have already been, then they shouldn't be playing in a public guild. It's as simple as that. This one comes in from Terror that says, now this is about getting into guilds as a new player. In my opinion, there are three types of guilds. Guilds for levelers, so mostly social guilds, PvP guilds, and raiding guilds. I personally leveled in a social guild and had a good time with it, but after a while I decided to join the raid content, so I said goodbye to my leveling guild and asked if a raiding guild would take me. Now, what they said was disturbing to me. They said you need raiding experience to join. Now, I thought this is understandable, as they don't want noobs. I'm gearing for raid, so I asked another one, and another. Now, I've asked 5 separate guilds, and I still don't have it. And they all come up with the same thing. You need raiding experience to join a raiding guild. Now, this doesn't really make any sense to me. How can you raid without a raiding guild? You can't build up experience out of nothing. You need to start from somewhere. All the guilds I've asked were not big guilds or anything, just smaller raiding guilds. I think this is one of the major problems in WoW, especially in Cataclysm, since you can't pug the raids anymore. What is your opinion about this, and do you have any advice? Well, for one, it kind of sounds like your realm sucks, which is a bad thing, certainly, if you don't have enough variety of guilds. And secondly, I also disagree with your perception of the 3 types of guilds. For instance, Trollface is all of these things in one, and we function just fine. We have multiple raiding groups and raiding tier groups, and these raiding groups are all over the place in terms of their size, how often they raid, when they raid, their attitude to raiding. We also have PvP groups, we have leveling groups, we have all sorts of things, and there are plenty of larger guilds that are capable of doing just that. I have to say, I've never encountered a leveling guild that also doesn't have a raid group of some sort, because what happens when they get to 85? They simply leave the guild? That sounds dumb. I mean, it would be easy enough just to form a 10-man raiding group out of a large leveling guild. So I'm really confused as to how your realm actually works. As regards to the whole need raiding experience, well, it's really weird that smaller guilds would demand raiding experience, but then again, also bear in mind that since the advent of 10-man equality in terms of the raiding tiers, people actually don't really need members anymore, so they're being more and more selective. Now, I've been in plenty of guilds where I've been able to join without a huge amount of raiding experience, and they're what I would call omni-guilds. Those are guilds that integrate leveling as well as PvP and raiding, and to be fair, as far as I'm aware, they are much more common than you might think. Now, I don't know if in Cataclysm, guilds have downsized significantly as a result of the 10-man equality thing, but it does seem to me that you need to just either keep looking for a guild or consider transferring realm if you're not able to do what you want, or alternatively start your own guild. It doesn't really make sense, though, that your leveling guild didn't have some 85s, unless you were the first to 85, and then you decided, well, you know what, I can't be bothered anymore waiting around for you guys, so I'm going to go and find a raiding guild. I would consider going back to that leveling guild, honestly, and seeing whether or not they have some 85s, and whether or not you can maybe lead a raiding division. You know, set one up and get something sorted out. I'd say Trollface works just fine in that regard. If someone wants to start a division, they just start one and they attract people to it from inside the guild. It's all done internally and it works perfectly fine. I can't imagine we're the only guild that functions that way. Okay, folks, that's me done for the day. Thank you very much for watching Azeroth Daily, and of course that is me also done for the week. Please remember to thumb up this video if you like it. It's very much appreciated. It does help the channel out quite a bit, and you do that simply by clicking the thumbs up button. If you don't already have a YouTube account, then you will need one in order to do that. You can just link it through to your Google account, I believe, so it's not all that tricky. Now, I would ask that you guys have a very safe and enjoyable weekend. I will see you on Monday, and I should be bringing you some more PTR content. There isn't a huge amount, but you can check out what I've done so far by clicking the links that are on the screen right now. You can go directly to those, and bear in mind that the raiding content isn't out yet, and we can't get into the Firelands for another 3 more days. So hopefully, and I do say hopefully, expect to see some Firelands content maybe on Monday, assuming there's not another step in the chain. And of course, none of us knows that yet. This is all brand new stuff. Thank you very much, folks, and I'll see you next time.